Néji Saïdi, ELT inspector at the Commissariat Régional d'Éducation de Tozeur. I'll be dealing with the phenomenon of school dropout. School dropout means that learners leave school at an early age, and basically before the age of 16. The causes leading to school dropouts are various. One of them is socio-economic. Families, and especially in rural areas, impoverished rural areas, families are incapable, unable to provide for their children to go to school. Then, because the father loses the ability to tend to his family, he will be obliged to ask one or two or three of his elder children to leave school and get into the labor market so as to help in the family budget. The other reason is, and is found in the rural areas as well, and statistics show that school dropouts is a widespread phenomenon in the rural impoverished areas. The school is far away from where the students live, and students have to make a very long and sometimes risky journey in all types of weather: cold weather, hot weather, rainy weather, snowy weather, etc. And of course, this is burdensome for kids, and they will be obliged to leave school and look for a job anywhere in the agricultural domain or whatever. The other reason is, or there are two reasons basically, which are related to the educational system. I think, in my own opinion, that people who are in charge of the educational system, teachers, principals, etc., lack specified training in dealing with kids who have difficulties. And this implies that there has to be collaboration between different administrations at the local level. On the other hand, the other reason is that the level of training in terms of pedagogical competencies has decreased. And I think that that is one of the reasons why kids leave school, because they attain a level where they cannot go on with their schooling. First, our general level of, or national level of literacy is decreasing. Second, the competencies and the skills of those who have made it are not as well as they used to be. Second implication is that because of school dropouts, the level or the rates of joblessness increases, because schools are not capable of getting outputs which satisfy the requirements of the labor market, and the result is that we have a high rate of unemployment. The other consequence is, because of unemployment and because of very poor qualification levels, kids find two ways: either manual labor exploitation, or they would resort to burglary, they would resort to different types of organized crime, extremism, and sometimes violence and terrorism. Being an ELT inspector with at least 19 years spent in the classroom and a few years inspecting teachers, I would recommend the following suggestions for solutions. First and foremost, I think that there has to be a program of reform, school system reform, that implies all those who are interested and who have propositions. Reform has to put in mind, or has to involve, different aspects. Aspects of infrastructure, transportation, improving the infrastructure of schools, especially schools in very remote areas, ensuring that there is a system of transportation that guarantees that kids have means of transportation that take them from and back home to school and back home. I think that also there has to be some solutions in the aim of training all those who are implied in the educational system in terms of pedagogical competencies and also psychological and social competencies, so that teachers, principals, etc. can detect problems and can interfere in collaboration with other administrations, like the administration of social affairs, the administration of youth and sports, etc., so that they tend to those families, they help families who have financial problems, they have families who have social problems, etc., etc., etc. And this is a very long endeavor which takes a lot of time, because the system has been suffering for a great number of illnesses and defects, and I guess that it takes a long time to fix the system.